Hello and welcome to the Car Care Nut channel. Welcome back to the second part on my series on brakes. Today we're going to be talking about prepping your pads, the pad holder, how to clean everything, how to put grease, what kind of grease to use. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you for watching my videos. If you are new to the channel and new to this video, please consider watching part 1 of this series. Also consider subscribing to the channel, check out some of my other videos. Without further ado, let's get right into it. So, here's our bracket. First, let's check our pins. Our pins want to move freely. If they don't, you need to get this pin out. This is actually a 17 millimeter. Most of them are 17, very few of them are 19. You can just put the socket here, turn this back and forth until it frees up, then you take it out. One biggest mistake that I see a lot of people do, and especially DIY, and they do it with good intent, and I love their good intent. Do not over grease these. Do not put way too much grease here, because what's going to end up happening is, as you put this pin back, it's going to create an air pocket and it's going to want to pop out on its own, and that could actually lock up your brakes. So don't do that. Put a little bit amount of grease. And by the way, if you take the pin and it already has grease, don't overdo it. It's good. It's not about putting new grease if it's clean. There's a boot here, there's nothing coming inside here. Let's not overdo it. Now this one is actually a pretty good sign. See how these pads came right out? Some of them, especially if you live in the Rust Belt, these things are going to be seized solid. You're going to have to hammer them out. So let's pop our pads out. These are aftermarket, and I'll show you the difference in a second. Let's prep our bracket. This, in Toyota terms, these little metal brackets, fitting kit. That's the official term from Toyota. So if you go to a parts store, fitting kit, that's what you want to get. You grab a metal brush. We're going to give this a really good clean. Now, in the end, when we're going to test fit our pads, if your pads are not going in smoothly, this is where you need to go back and clean and even grind sometimes. Now, typically, at work, when these are heavily built up with rust, ooh, there's a cloud of smoke. Make sure that doesn't cloud. Typically at work, when these are rusted very bad and the pad doesn't want to slide smoothly, we're going to use a power tool, grinder. We're just going to grind this off real nice. Sometimes we would use a sand blaster. So what you want to do at home, now at home you might not have an air source, you might not have a fancy grinder or a sand blaster. So what you're going to do is you're going to grab a file. Just file this, don't overdo it, because the more you grind on these and make this opening bigger, the more you're going to have pad shift. Pad shift is when every time you put your car in reverse, hit the brakes the first time, you hear that click. The more you do these, the more pad shift you're going to have noise-wise. Now, these are pretty good, I think. I like how these are looking. Now we're going to put our fitting kit back. Give the fitting kit a clean. I see a lot of people grind these. Do not grind these because they're very thin and they tend to fly off or break. So we're going to give these a good clean. Some aftermarket, and unfortunately this one is aftermarket, and I'm going to have to reuse it because I didn't really look at this car. It was brought to me that brakes were recommended. I'm going to go back and replace them in the future. However, the fitting kit, if you have the originals, if they're not broken, continue to use them. They're actually very high quality. I can tell by how flimsy these are. They're not original. There's nothing wrong with them, but these typically they don't last as much as the originals. If you're using aftermarket pads, they usually come with a fitting kit. Go ahead and replace it. In my case here, unfortunately, I have original pads and aftermarket fit kit, so I'm going to go later on and replace them. But in your case, aftermarket, put them. Original, keep the originals, or get originals. They're called fitting kit. Now we're going to prep the other side. real quick. That looks good. I'm happy with it. A lot of people have asked about grease. What kind of grease do we use here? Now this is just the generic stuff we have at work. I turned the brand around. I don't want to recommend it because this is like not available for public use, but you could use any high temperature silicone brakes / caliper lubrication. That works. You can buy it at any parts store. It's nothing special or specific. There is one grease that is specific, and we're going to talk about it in a second. So I usually put just a little bit here, a little bit there, flip it around, and then kind of move it, lubricate the bottom, put a little bit here. We're talking very small amounts. Again, you don't want to overdo it. If you have a lot of grease, like this one did have, you saw how much dust and stuff was stuck to the grease. So everything in moderation is better. Just a little bit. There we go, we're done. I'm happy with that. Now let's put this to the side. Now we're gonna prep our pads. Here are our old pads. And I see two problems with these pads already. First problem, there was no pin, and you're gonna see that pin in a second. Second, there's no wear indicator. Now is this the end of the world? It is not, but this is not right. We're car careness, we want to do things right, right? So, here are the original pads. Now these are not, I've talked about this in my video. I showed you the difference between the economy pads and the factory pads. These are economy pads, and let's take two of them. Let's put them side by side. And I want you to see the difference. Pretty close. This hole is not as well made as this one. Again, not a big deal. The owner of this car never had issues with these brakes. They were pulsating toward the end a little bit. They're not completely worn, but he's going on a long trip, so he wanted them replaced and be on the safe side. Now, these are the pins. They come with every original pad, and these help the pads come out so they're not dragging all the time. If it's there from the factory, it's there for a good reason. And you're gonna see when we put those on why most people throw these out, because they're kind of a pain to put on, and you'll see why. So let's leave this on the side for now. This is the shim kit that I talked about in one of my videos. I'll leave that video in the description. All the videos I'm gonna mention in this video, I'll leave them in the description. The shim kit, people threw them out. Whoever did these brakes, this car was bought with these original shims. They threw them out, and now we gotta buy new ones. So here's the shim kit from the factory. There's only one shim kit. There's no value and OEM. You notice that the shim kit comes with the plates, and it also comes with the wear indicator. Wear indicator is important in case you're not checking it, although most DIY mechanics check their brakes a lot and they know when they're, but again, we're doing the job right here, or at least trying, you know. So, this is the other type of grease that comes with these. And you notice if you're buying shims, it does come with it. But I also got this. This you can buy. I'll leave the part number in the description below if you want to buy the Toyota specific grease. But also, you can buy this aftermarket. This is nothing. This is just a 50-cent worth of grease in a $3 bag just because it says Toyota. Just FYI. Now, let's prep our pads. I'm gonna use this gal right here because this seems to have a little bit more. I'm gonna put a little bit of grease on each one. And remember, this bag is supposed to do an axle, so this is good for this side and the other side, not front and back. Now that you got the grease like that, move it across. Make sure you leave some grease in these openings. The reason we're doing all this mess is this is why pads make noise. As the pad contacts the rotor, there's gonna be two metals or ceramic and metal contacting. They're gonna make a vibration, like a harmonic vibration that's eventually gonna resonate, and you're gonna hear that loud squeal. What this does and what this does is it absorbs some of that squeal and vibration and smooths it out so you would not hear it. That's the whole reason we're putting this specific grease and this shim kit, just to keep things quiet. Now the aftermarket pad, this does not look like this at all. This is actually a big thick metal. It's 2 pieces. This is just a flimsy little piece. If you're using aftermarkets, I highly encourage you that you pop these out. At least put grease here like we did here. That'll help it not make noise. Now if you put the pads that are not noisy, good power to us all. We don't have to go back again and put the grease and all this. But if you're using originals or you want to go the extra mile, make sure you're not going back in there. Go ahead and put the grease and you're good to go. Now that we've got our grease, I'll show you a little trick to get these. So you're gonna put the pads opposite to each other, one this way, one this way. We're gonna put our shim kit, which the factory one snaps on very easy. Some cars will only have one. This, if it only has one, you're always gonna put it on the pad that goes in the back or toward the piston, not toward the front. If it has 2, you're gonna wanna put them on the same side. So with the pads oriented like this, put one here, just like that. Put the other one here. That's it, put them on the same side. And some people will say, well, why are we putting it on the same side? That's how they come from the factory. I'm not an engineer. That's how I've always done the brakes. That's how they always came from the factory. So we're gonna keep it the same way, because why not? All right, let's put our pad on. And I want you to see something here. This pad needs to be moving freely, just like you're seeing it right here. I did not use a hammer. I did not force it in by force. No, it went right in and it's moving. If you do not have this moving freely, you're gonna use a file like this. If you have power tool, go ahead, but don't overdo it. Use a file, file the surfaces behind the fit kit, and this should go right in. If not, just keep going at it until it slides freely. I usually assemble my pads on the pad holder or the bracket, then put it on the car. Some people will bolt this onto the car, then put the pads on. That's perfectly fine. That's just my way, your way. No right or wrong way here. Just make sure you test your pads on the bench before you go put it back on the car. Make sure that they're sliding nice. There's no issues, no binding. You don't need to hammer one on, because any of this not moving right now, 6 months from now, this is gonna be a seized pad and we're gonna have problems. All right, guys, so we're gonna wrap this video right here. Remember, I'm gonna release the other part of this series on a day that is not the normal posting day of the channel, so that's gonna be Saturday. If you're watching this video in the future, disregard this. I'll leave a link below for the 3rd part of this series. May the Lord bless you and keep you, and you have a wonderful day.